Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that we all want a better life, but very few of us are willing to build better habits? We want peace, but we don't practice pause. We want happiness, but we keep running without asking, where am I running to? Life does not change in one dramatic moment. Life changes quietly, in the small things we do every single day. Today, I want to share 4 simple daily habits. Have you ever wondered why some people seem calm even in chaos, while others feel disturbed even when everything looks fine? The difference is not in their luck, not in their background, and not even in their problems. The difference lies in what they practice every single day. Life is not shaped by big events alone. It is shaped quietly by small daily habits that we often ignore. We want change, but we want it instantly. We forget that nature itself works slowly. Trees grow quietly, rivers carve mountains patiently, and sunrise never rushes, yet it is always on time. Most of us start our day in a hurry. The moment we open our eyes, the world enters our mind. Messages, worries, comparisons, and expectations start controlling our mood before we even step out of bed. When the day begins without awareness, the mind remains restless. Taking just a few moments to pause, breathe, and become conscious of the present can change how we respond to everything that follows. When you start the day calmly, problems don't disappear, but your strength to face them increases. A calm mind does not mean a problem-free life. It means a life where problems don't steal your peace. Another silent influence in our life is the people we surround ourselves with. Company matters more than we realize. Conversations shape thoughts, and thoughts shape actions. If we constantly sit with people who complain, criticize, or spread negativity, slowly our own thinking becomes heavy. On the other hand, being around people who are grateful, positive, and purposeful lifts us naturally. Sometimes improving life doesn't require adding new people. It requires limiting access to those who drain your energy. And sometimes, the most powerful company is your own, where silence teaches you more than noise ever could. We often believe happiness will come when circumstances improve, when income increases, or when life becomes easier. But happiness does not wait for perfection. Gratitude changes the lens through which we see life. When we are grateful, we stop focusing on what is missing and start valuing what is present. Gratitude does not mean ignoring pain. It means acknowledging blessings even alongside difficulties. A grateful heart sleeps peacefully because it is not busy counting what others have. At the end of the day, many people try to escape their thoughts by distracting themselves. But reflection is not punishment, it is guidance. Looking back at the day gently, without judgment, helps us grow. Asking what went well and what can be improved tomorrow turns every day into a lesson. Growth happens not when we are harsh with ourselves, but when we are honest and kind. Remember, transformation is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It happens quietly when you choose awareness over rush, gratitude over complaint, reflection over escape, and meaningful connections over empty noise. You don't need to change your whole life today, just change what you do daily. Small, consistent habits may seem insignificant, but over time they shape a life filled with clarity, balance, and inner peace. There is a simple truth we often overlook: life responds to what we repeatedly do, not to what we occasionally wish for. Many people say they want peace, happiness, and balance, yet their daily routine is filled with rush, comparison, and unnecessary pressure. We underestimate the power of small actions, thinking that only big changes can create big results. But if you observe nature, you will realize that the most powerful transformations happen silently and gradually. A river does not force its way, it flows consistently, and over time, even the hardest rocks surrender. The way we begin our day carries a message to the mind. If the first thing we do after waking up is to expose ourselves to noise, negativity, or worry, the mind learns to remain unsettled. Starting the day with a few moments of stillness creates space within. In that space, clarity is born. When the mind is calm, reactions slow down and responses become wiser. Challenges will still come, but they will no longer shake us the way they once did. Inner stability is not about avoiding problems. It is about facing them with composure. Another area that shapes our life quietly is our choice of company. We are deeply influenced by the people we listen to and the conversations we entertain. Even without realizing it, we absorb emotions, attitudes, and beliefs from those around us. Being around people who constantly complain can make even a good life feel heavy. Being around people who are hopeful and purposeful can make even difficult situations feel manageable. Sometimes growth requires distance, not because others are bad, but because peace is precious. Choosing healthy company is not selfish, it is responsible. We also place happiness in the future, thinking that once certain goals are achieved, life will finally feel complete. But the mind that postpones happiness never learns to be content. Gratitude anchors us in the present moment. When we consciously appreciate what we have, the heart relaxes. Gratitude does not deny ambition, it balances it. It allows us to strive without stress and grow without frustration. A thankful mind focuses on abundance, not scarcity, and that shift alone changes how life feels from within. As the day comes to an end, many people try to forget the day, especially if it was difficult. But reflection turns experience into wisdom. Looking back at the day with honesty helps us understand ourselves better. Not to criticize, but to learn. When we ask what we did right and where we can improve, we prepare ourselves for a better tomorrow. Self-reflection builds self-awareness, and self-awareness builds inner strength. Life does not need to be perfect to be peaceful. Peace comes when our daily habits align with our values. When we slow down, choose wisely, appreciate deeply, and reflect honestly, life begins to feel lighter. You don't need to transform everything at once. Just focus on living one day a little better than yesterday. Over time, these small changes will quietly shape a life that feels meaningful, balanced, and deeply fulfilling. We often search for change in the outside world, believing that if situations improve, people behave differently, or circumstances become favorable, life will automatically feel better. But life does not change from the outside first, it changes from within. The quality of our life is a reflection of the quality of our daily habits. What we repeatedly think, speak, and do quietly shapes our mindset, and over time it shapes our destiny. Big transformations do not arrive with noise, they arrive with consistency. Many of us wake up carrying yesterday's worries into today. Before the day even begins, the mind is already tired. Starting the day with awareness helps break this pattern. A few moments of silence, a deep breath, or a simple intention can shift the entire direction of the day. When the mind is centered, reactions soften. We may still face the same challenges, but we face them with maturity rather than frustration. Calmness is not weakness, it is strength under control. Another powerful influence in life is the environment we create through our relationships. The people we spend time with slowly influence our beliefs and behavior. Without realizing it, we begin to think like them, speak like them, and even worry like them. That is why choosing company is choosing a direction in life. Being around people who inspire growth encourages us to become better versions of ourselves. At the same time, learning to enjoy our own company is equally important. Silence allows clarity, and clarity brings peace. We also spend a lot of energy comparing our life with others. Comparison quietly steals joy. Gratitude restores it. When we acknowledge what we already have, the heart feels lighter. Gratitude teaches us that happiness is not found in having everything, but in appreciating what we have. This does not mean we stop growing or dreaming. It means we grow with contentment instead of constant dissatisfaction. A grateful mind sees lessons in difficulties and blessings in simplicity. At night, many people distract themselves to avoid thinking. But reflection is not about overthinking. It is about understanding. Taking a few moments to look back at the day helps us learn without judgment. What did we handle well? Where did we lose patience? What can we do better tomorrow? This gentle self-review builds awareness and self-control. Growth happens when we observe ourselves honestly and improve gradually. Life becomes heavy when we try to control everything. It becomes peaceful when we focus on what we can practice daily. Awareness, right company, gratitude, and reflection are not complicated ideas. They are simple habits that require sincerity. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. Just start with one small step, repeated daily. Over time, these small steps create a strong foundation. Remember, peace is not something we find, it is something we cultivate. When our daily habits align with calmness and clarity, life feels balanced even during uncertainty. Change does not demand perfection, only persistence. Keep moving forward gently, and trust that every mindful step you take is shaping a life filled with purpose and inner peace. Many people believe that life will finally settle down one day, that problems will reduce and peace will automatically arrive. But life does not slow down on its own. We have to slow ourselves down within it. The real challenge of modern life is not lack of success, but lack of inner balance. We are constantly doing more, chasing more, and expecting more, yet feeling less fulfilled. This happens because we focus on changing outcomes instead of changing our daily approach to life. The way we handle the first few moments of our day often decides the emotional tone of everything that follows. When we wake up with anxiety, rush, or comparison, the mind remains unsettled. But when we begin the day with a moment of stillness, the mind learns to respond rather than react. Even a few deep breaths can remind us that we are more than our responsibilities. Calmness does not remove challenges, but it gives us the strength to face them without losing ourselves. Another important aspect of life is the influence of people around us. Every conversation leaves an impression. Every interaction shapes our thinking in subtle ways. When we surround ourselves with constant negativity, we slowly start believing that life itself is negative. Choosing uplifting company helps us see possibilities instead of limitations. At the same time, learning to be comfortable with silence builds emotional independence. When we do not constantly seek validation from others, we begin to trust our own inner voice. Often, we delay happiness by tying it to achievements. We tell ourselves that once we reach a certain point, we will finally feel content. But contentment cannot be postponed, it must be practiced. Gratitude shifts our focus from what is missing to what is meaningful. When we appreciate small blessings, life feels abundant even in simplicity. Gratitude does not mean ignoring struggles. It means not allowing struggles to blind us to the good that still exists. As the day ends, reflection becomes a powerful habit. Instead of judging ourselves harshly, we can gently review our actions. Reflection helps us learn from mistakes without carrying guilt. It teaches us responsibility without self-criticism. When we understand our patterns, we gain the power to change them. Growth is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming aware. Life becomes peaceful when we stop fighting it and start flowing with wisdom. Small daily habits shape our mindset more than occasional motivation ever can. When awareness guides our mornings, gratitude fills our hearts, meaningful connections support us, and reflection refines us, life begins to feel lighter. We may still face difficulties, but they no longer control our emotions. Remember, lasting change does not come from pressure, it comes from patience. Be gentle with yourself as you grow. Each mindful choice you make is a step toward a balanced and purposeful life. You do not need to rush the journey. Just walk it with awareness and trust that consistency will quietly transform everything. Remember this, you don't need to change your whole life today. Just change one habit. Small steps, done daily, create extraordinary transformations. Be patient with yourself, be consistent with your efforts, and most importantly, be kind to your journey. Because when your habits change, your thoughts change. When your thoughts change, your life follows. Thank you, and may your days be filled with clarity, purpose, and peace.